But let's take a step away from what your work is basically, and kind of dive towards your vacation. I think you just came back from Pennsylvania.
Oh my god!
And you said something about it being a terrible trip.
Yeah, man.
Let's hear it.
So I'm originally from Pennsylvania, as you know, and went up there to visit some family and stuff like that. And dude, it's just so I'm from rural Pennsylvania, small little farming town called Somerset, and around that area is just some beautiful nature. Like, I've hiked all over the world. My favorite trail in the world is at Laurel Hill State Park in, I think, Hidden Valley, Pennsylvania is where it's officially located, which is like 20 minutes from where I grew up. Absolutely gorgeous area, right? So got to get out in nature, got to take the dogs for a bunch of hiking and stuff like that. I absolutely love that. But there is a substantial decline in rural America's just attitude. Mm-hmm. And I actually that was one of my questions I wanted to ask, is if you have seen that. Obviously, you haven't been to like rural America, you didn't grow up in rural America, but have you seen like a decline in like people just more rude now? Like growing up, man, I didn't like growing up right because it was a small town, there was no opportunities. As I've grown older, I've learned to appreciate it and whatnot, but the people were the best fucking people, dude. Like, maybe they had a short-term vision of what's possible and there wasn't a lot of hope, but they were just good people, the type that give you the shirt off their back. Somebody has a flat tire, they pull over along the side of the road and help them out. Like, that's the people I grew up with, man, and I love those people. They're not that way anymore.
Yeah.
They're just so... Everybody I was around was, fuck Biden. Biden owes me money for my gas. AOC needs to burn in hell. So many signs that I saw. Everybody was just grumpy. Went to a couple restaurants, went to a couple coffee shops and stuff, and everybody's just depressed. Have you noticed that there's been a decline?
Yeah. I was born and I grew up in a rural town.
Really?
Howell, Michigan.
Well, no. I thought you grew up in like Tampa or something.
No, what the fuck? No.
Is that Aiden?
Yes, that's Aiden.
Oh, shit.
we need to get him on the podcast.
We do. That'd be great.
But no, I was born and I grew up in Howell, Michigan. Which, if you ask, I've noticed this when I went up over the summer.
Like
if
Howell?
like Howell, like Howell.
Howell, Michigan. Okay, all right. I did not know this, dude. Okay,
so it was a very rural town. Basically, if you ask or if you tell someone, they ask you like, "Hey, what part of Michigan are you from?" And I say, "Oh, I'm from Howell." They're like, "Oh, Howell." So yeah, it's one of those places. And when I moved down here, I lived in.
When did you move?
2005.
So you were 4.
Mm-hmm. I was born and I grew up in Howell, Michigan. But still, wow. I still visited.
Hey, Ryan, this guy, he definitely grew up.
Hey, man.
They're rural Michigan. Yeah.
But like these are people like I would see like my parents talk to my grandpa owned a motel, so I get to see all sorts of people that come in, and they were very nice people.
Mm-hmm.
I moved down to Fort Myers, Florida, and the school that I went to is called Riverdale High School, and that was in a rural area called Buckingham, Florida. And once again, just like kind of the same thing that you were talking about, people that would take the shirt off their back, give it to you, they'd pull on the side, that those kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
As the years passed, so when I let's say from freshman year of high school to senior year of high school, you could definitely see a change. There's just been a change in attitude for pretty much everybody. You take a look at society, regardless of like the place, they're always going to say like, okay, we were good at this one point. Everyone was all together. They would make decisions for themselves. And now everything's just become left or right, up and down, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it has to do with just the fact that rural people, you might have, they might be a little bit more disconnected or they're more biased to one source of media or something. Obviously, people will relay what they get fed in. Mm-hmm. And you see that all the time with extremists, hard lefts, hard rights, whatever.
Yeah.
Some people are just they kind of go down that one route, and that's all they have now is just hatred and anger towards one person, and it elevates towards everybody. If I walk down the wrong street, just because someone's a white supremacist, they're gonna see a brown guy, although they don't know that I listen to like country music and I'm pretty much whitewashed at this point. They're gonna straight up look at me and just be like, yo,
get out of my country.
Exactly. That actually happened to me when I was 15. I tell people this all the time. When I was 15, I was walking down a Winn-Dixie freezer aisle. And in Fort Myers, there's so many like World War II veterans and like old people that just retire there. And I was walking down. I had a little bit more of like a unordained beard compared to now. And I was walking down, and the guy tells his wife, he whispers and he goes, "Watch out, the Allahu Akbar is coming." And I laugh about it now. You know, it's funny to me, but at the same time, I was driving to Daytona, and there's a city literally 10 minutes north of where I live called Geneva, Florida. You've got Trump Town, USA, and all these other like billboards.
I'm from Trump Town.
Yeah, so yeah,
from Trumpville.
There you go. Okay, so you know about it. And I was filling up gas, like right before I was headed over to my buddy's place in Daytona. It was like 9 p.m. and it's just myself, and there's this guy with this big F-250 filling up gas, and he's looking at me in a nasty way. And you know, I'm just doing my thing and trying to fill up gas, and my card declines. Like, what the fuck's going on? And he walks towards the back of the truck, which is like, so my car's right here, his truck is right here. And he walks towards the back of his truck and pulls out what looks to be the stock of a gun, like a wood stock of a gun. And I said, "Nah, bro, fuck that." Got in my car and drove off. So like, there's things like that, like, you know, if no one's watching, no one was at the gas station except for me and him. So it's like, people will have that one, like, once they have that one perspective drilled in their head that, okay, I'm white, anything that is not white is wrong, then that gets elevated into more and more like different versions. And putting it into perspective of what you were saying, I don't think that you just noticed it and it just happened like in your town. I think it's just happening everywhere. There's so much divide in this world, and everyone now sticks to their like own perspective, and things don't change after that. So it's really hard to kind of put in words, but everyone thinks on their own now, and it's now becoming a little bit more harmful.